Welcome to GIS 200 at Northern Virginia Community College. My name is Dr. Harmon, and I'm the head of the GIS program here at Nova, and I teach most of the classes, but not all of them. This short video will get you started on your path to becoming a GIS pro, and I hope you listen to what I'm going to tell you and do the things that we ask you to do. If you do, everything will work out. So let's talk about how to get started. Well, the first thing you need to do, and you've probably already done this, is watch the video from Nova Online about how these classes work and how the modules are structured and all that. This will explain what you need to do. And just know that this class is a 4-credit class, and that this class is typically taught in person in 16 weeks. The format for online classes that is preferred is to use a 12-week schedule so that the courses can be run in the summer or the fall or the spring. This means that this will lead to an increased workload on a weekly basis for the students. It will be manageable, but it will be intense. GIS is a lot of work, but what you have to remember is it's a lot of work, but it's not a lot of super hard work. It can be frustrating, it can be complicated, it can be tricky, but it's not anything you can't do. So watch this video and we'll steer you in the right direction. After that, there's other videos you need to watch. One is on the overview of the class project, and we'll explain how that entire process works, and then break it down into multiple parts that we'll do together over the course of the semester to help you finish your class project without any problems. You also need to watch the video on installing your software and how you access the Esri, that's the company that makes the ArcGIS software, how you access the Esri training that is available for you. You'll then need to complete the first of those Esri trainings. And after that, you really just need to read ahead and be ready to do the next week's work. And that's the format that we'll loosely stick to. You read something one week, you do it the next. That's what you should stick to. But in a given module, it'll cover certain topics. Those topics will have the listed page numbers that you need to read and the videos that you need to watch. Now you need to remember that the videos are the lecture videos from my class the last time I taught this class, for the most part. And the tutorial things that you're asked to do come from the textbook, and there is some review questions at the end of the chapter, and these questions are used as parts of little quizzes at the end of each module, and you need to complete those before you can move on. There will be times that things will come up on the quizzes that I may not speak to any great detail of in the lecture. Just off the top of my head, there are some questions on there about some of these different color schemes that I'm going to completely brush by in the lecture. But to make sure that you're actually reading the chapter, we'll ask questions about that, of all kinds of stuff in those little end of the module sort of assignments. So don't be afraid to, take the time to get these things right. But at the end of the day, being successful in GIS is about being stubborn. It's about continuing to do the work, even if you're not sure you're doing it right. Because we succeed when we lose fear. When we lose the fear that we're doing something wrong, when we lose the fear that we don't understand what we're doing. When we lose the fear of how to find our way through the software, then we can start doing things and trying to figure out if we did them correctly. And ultimately, we'll get to a point to where you'll just know how to do things correctly. But to get there is a bit of a journey. And it's a journey that's going to lead to some failures, and that's okay. It's going to lead to some mistakes, and that's okay. But you can't quit, and you can't get behind. Do the work every week as best you can. Finish everything up, even if you're pretty sure you're doing it wrong. And then the next week, you'll get better at it. And the week after that, you'll get better at it. And the week after that, you'll get better at it. And by the end of the semester, you'll start to have some real skills developing. And that's how we're going to go about learning GIS. We're going to make a path in the weeds that are your mind. And that path will lead you from having problems to getting answers. So, stick with us, do what we ask, and trust us. What are the keys to success? It's simple. Stay on pace with the work. When you get behind, it's harder to catch up. When you get behind, it's harder for us to help you. Do the tutorials at all costs. Every week the assignments will have tutorials from the textbook where you'll follow along various steps as they show you things that you can do and how to do them in the software. You have to do these. Your ability to understand what we're lecturing about and your ability to use the software and to do actual GIS work is contingent upon building this set of experiences using the software. If you don't do the tutorials and you get the answers from somebody else or look them up online or do whatever and skip over these, you'll never develop the skills you need and you will not complete our degree program. I guarantee it. If this is something you truly want to do, make the commitment to do, above all else, your tutorials every week. Third, know it's okay to feel lost or behind. That's fine. It's part of the process and it's natural. This is like learning to do advanced math in a different language. It's tricky. It's not super hard, but you're not familiar with the terms. You're not familiar with the software. You're not familiar with the big concepts. So as we learn the big concepts, we work our way through the software and you develop that muscle memory of how to do things, you'll feel less lost. You will not be as far behind. And if you do all the work every week and stay up on pace, you will, at the end of the semester, have some real skills. Trust the process. We've been doing this for a while. And I can tell you the students that succeed, and I can tell you the students that fail. The students that fail are the ones who don't do their homework, who don't do their assignments, and think because I'm an easygoing kind of professor, and I give people lots of breaks, and I'm one of those super helpful kind of people when you get behind or get stuck, that you don't need to do all this work, and at the end of the semester you'll be just fine. You won't. If you don't do the work, you won't have the skills. If you don't have the skills, it's really hard to make that project work. I'll show you all the steps, and you still won't be able to do it. You have to do the work every module, every week. When you find yourself struggling and you need help, ask for it. Don't be ashamed. There's no stigma associated with raising your hand and saying, "Can you help me?" It's not a sign of weakness. Asking for a help is a sign of intelligence. It means you recognize that you cannot solve your problem alone. And it's more important to solve the problem than it is to appear to know what you're doing. I would rather you do the work and get it all wrong than not do the work. I would rather you ask for help and me have to explain everything over again than for you to need help and not ask for it. The longer you wait to ask for help, the harder it's going to get. And especially early in the semester, a lot of times, what I'm going to tell you to do is trust me, it'll be okay, do the best you can, and that's all you need to do. Because, ultimately, getting the right answers is not as important as doing the work. Now, you might say, then why do we keep score? Because we have to. It's the only way we know you're doing the work. But becoming successful at this is not about getting question number 3 on tutorial and module 4 correct. It's about doing module 4 and learning what the tools and the actions and the concepts and the principles in module 4 were about. So trust us, ask for help when you need it. It's okay if it's a little overwhelming. Stay up on your tutorials at all costs, even if you don't understand exactly what it is you're doing, and even if you're pretty sure you just did it wrong, just keep at it and stay the course, stay the pace.